Hi, welcome back to another one of my videos of me talking in my car. I haven't done this for quite some time, probably like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, I don't know. But well, last year I kind of did talk about how I want to make my channel more interesting, but apparently towards the start of 2016 I was a little bit busy, and then when spring came in March, April, I was just so super busy. I couldn't get time out to do anything decent for myself. I was rushing all my backlogs, and I got a lot of clients chasing me where my stuff, when's my stuff's gonna arrive and all that. So I was packed every weekend and every weekday. So when I got home, I have to just besides time that I used to play with my son and to take a bath and to have dinner and and whatnot, and besides sleeping time, other than that I was just so busy with so many things. So I wish I could just do a bit more and just keep uploading all these videos, but sometimes I just couldn't do it. And now it's July, it's almost half the year is already gone, and I got a little bit of time on my side now, so I decided to just do another one of these car videos. So sorry if, really sorry if I bored you out in the first 1-2 minutes of talking, but yeah, basically in this video I just want to talk about a little upgrade that I'm just gonna do to my car. Basically I've been driving this same car, my daily drive, this 2013 WRX STI for close to about two and a half, almost 3 years. This year in November it will be 3 years officially for this car. But so far 2.5 years I've clocked 4,000 not 4,000, almost 46,000 kilometers. I've driven a lot, to Tokyo, to here and there and back. And so the suspension of the car, the stock one, tends to feel a little bit what do you call it, a little bit harsh, the rebound and all that. It's a little bit harsh, and I didn't really felt that initially, but towards the beginning of this year I actually changed out to these full bucket seats from Recaro. And because the Recaro bucket seats, technically they hold you so well, and you and the car are almost like a single entity, and there's not a lot of superb cushioning compared to the OEM seats. So ever since then I kind of start to feel a little bit of flaws with this car, because I've been driving this car for a long time, every day, for 2.5 years. So you kind of feel a little bit here and there, what the minus points of the car, what's not good, and you just start to nitpick on the car here and there. But obviously being a WRX STI, the interior it's it's rattling and all that, but it happens all the time. I mean, you can read up on the forums. Everyone who ever owned a WRX will tell you that you buy a WRX, just live with it, So I mean that's okay for me. But the suspension, back to that, it's a little bit harsh. Maybe 46,000. I'm on 45,800 kilometers. Probably the oil and the damper is already being worn out or something. So with these seats, every single bump on the road, every crest, I mean, any imperfections on the road, you can really feel it straight to your body. And then especially when you hit something really a pothole or something, it's just I could just go into a pothole, and that, how do I explain it, it hurts on your body. Yeah, it really hurts, and you kind of will wonder well, is the car gonna be alright? I mean, the pothole the car just took such a huge damage going into the pothole, and it's just boom, and you're oh, that hurt, that's gonna hurt. So I didn't really like that, so I did my research on the suspension for almost half a year, and I was tight between whether I want to go for performance upgrade or go for the comfort upgrade. So I mean, in the world of cars, you either go for performance or comfort. You cannot just have the best of both worlds. I mean, you probably can, but you gotta compromise on either the performance or the comfort. Either one you gotta pick. So I'm leaning towards the power performance upgrade back then. But having talked to a lot of people around me, people who've driven like race cars and all that, and the people that are way older than me and more experienced, they're like, I mean, if you can go for the power, go for it. But it's not like you're gonna track the car. You're gonna drive like a crazy maniac every day. So I mean, given the conditions that you're driving your car like every day, day in, day out, you're using this car as a daily driver, they recommended that it's better to go for like a comfortable setup, so that you don't tire yourself out as much. And besides, I'm not the only one riding this car. Occasionally my family will ride in this car, and they're in the back, and long distances I'll be the one driving, because my family, none of them drives a manual car except me. So yeah, my kid, Ashley in the back, and then my wife, and when you go through highways and all that, sometimes the road conditions are not the best, and it wakes them up, maybe when they're sleeping or something, and I didn't really like that. And I read a lot of reviews online. I was initially planning to get the what do you call it? The Bilstein, yeah. Sorry, just kind of totally forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, initially I was leaning towards the Bilstein suspension, the PSS10 B16 adjustable suspension, and I read a lot of reviews, and here and there, and then a lot of people say, if you're not tracking the car, the Bilstein will be a much better suspension compared to the Ohlins ones. Yeah, I mean, basically I just narrowed down my choices to either the Bilstein, a PSS10 B16 suspension for this car, or the Ohlins Road and Track suspension for this car. And yeah, like I said, initially I was leaning towards the Bilstein, and then I went to the Subaru dealer when I got my car and talked to the mechanics, and I called up STI in Japan, and somehow I could get my hands on a pair of not a pair, like a full set, two to the front, two to the back, the STI suspension that was being used on the S206, which is a limited edition Subaru WRX STI here in Japan, and it's basically the same suspension that's being offered for this car as a dealer's option when I first got this car, the NBR Challenge Bilstein suspension that has pink STI springs on it. So what was the difference between the S206 suspension and the STI and Bilstein dealer option for this car is that basically both are exactly the same suspension. The only difference is according to the rep that I talked to at STI, is that the only difference is the S206 suspension is specially tuned for the S206, which has a lot of other enhancements. So yeah, I could technically fit this on my car, but it might not give the optimum performance from the suspension. But it's almost the same price as the dealer option for this car. So basically both are the same suspension, and it's just that one is tuned for the S206 and one is for this car as a dealer option. So getting either one doesn't make a big difference, because I'm not gonna track my car anytime soon. So yeah, I did talk to those guys, and I was contemplating whether I should get those suspension from STI and Bilstein collaboration. But after more research and here and there, I was just spoiled for choices, and there's tons of information floating around. Those suspensions are just not adjustable. So when you get an aftermarket suspension, it's just, you want to be able to adjust the suspension to suit your driving and for various situations. Like for example, if I want to track the car, I want to be able to use the suspension to track the car. But those suspension, because you're not able to tune or to adjust the damping rate and whatnot, they come as it is. So it might be a little harsh and not as comfortable for a daily drive, but some people like it. But you know, if you like it, go for it. But because, you know, like I said previously, I mean, I'm not the only one riding this car. I take my families here and there, so I want them to have a comfortable ride at the same time, you know, not you know, start complaining that how harsh this car is. Like my wife, most of the time she's in the back with my son. I just always tell her to sit in front, but she's like, no, she wants to sit in the back with my son, you know, and play with him. And sometimes when I trash the car a little bit on the back roads, and then she get thrown around a little bit, she's like, this car is just too harsh, you know, I feel like I'm gonna just throw out something. So she's not really into race cars. I mean, she's not into cars in anything, so yeah, I don't want to make it even worse. So yeah, I was thinking, if I was gonna change for a good set of coilovers, I would want the capability to adjust the suspension, make it hard or soft, and yeah, I just took out the STI ones and just went back to either Bilstein or the Ohlins, and I talked to a lot of mechanics and car shops and people that I know. Yeah, Bilstein is what everybody recommended, but you know, going online more and reading the Japanese forums, reviews and all that, apparently the Bilstein ones seems to have a hit and miss rate. So either you get a lemon or you get a, you know, perfectly good one. So the lemons one are like you get weird sounds and all that. But I think the Ohlins one or any other suspension will have that issues. But I happen to found this shop in Tokyo that has a super good pricing for the Ohlins road and track that I just couldn't give it up. And I thought it was a pricing error or something. I called them up. They was like, no, we've been doing this for a while now, and we kind of offered a lower pricing for, you know, a lot of parts. So I was like, well, that kind of pricing, I'm going for the Ohlins one. No regrets. So I read up a lot, you know, YouTube and all the reviews, and especially this White Wing STI guy on YouTube. He's basically driving the same car as me, but he's a USDM white one, and he had the Ohlins installed, and he was giving like really good reviews on it, and also really spot direct, really spot direct. They did a review on the suspension and on the 2015 and 2016 WRX STI, the latest one, and it was just, you know, everyone had raving reviews on the Ohlins road and track, and for the price that I was being offered from the shop in Tokyo, I decided to go for it. And today, yeah, I'm driving down to Tokyo and get it all set up and see how it goes. So yeah, basically I'm like, I don't know how many minutes on the video, and I don't want to really bore you guys out. So when I hit the shop later, I'm just gonna do a little bit of pictures here and there, maybe a little video here and there, and then when I'm driving back tonight, if I get the time and if I get decent daylight, just talk a little bit about that. So yeah, really sorry if this video is just too long, but if you want to fast forward on, you know, go to the suspension review itself, you just go ahead. In the meantime, thanks for checking out my videos once again, and I really appreciate it for all your support and comments, and you know, keep those messages and comments and whatnot coming in, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Take care and see ya.